The standing. I will start from the beginning as it should all be out there in order to get a good response. This is very fresh in my mind as I had a feeling this was going on, but finally got her to confess it 3 days ago. The beginning. We started dating 9 years ago at pretty young ages 19 and 20. After a year into the relationship we had our first child. We did not get married right away as we did not want the baby to be a reason for us to wed. We continued to date and live together, raising our daughter, eventually getting engaged and then married a few years later. Now this whole time was hard financially obviously and put a good amount of stress on the relationship. However, we did the small things to make sure we still had us time, etc. We eventually moved cross-country to an area where we did not know anyone. For the past 3 to 4 years I have encouraged my wife to go make friends, get out of the house. Instead she wanted to stay home and do other things, letting herself go a little bit. Eventually we had our second and third child as my wife said she loved being a mom and wanted to have a big family. I agreed to it as I too wanted a large family. We continued our marriage without any real signs of trouble outside of the normal arguments couples have. Fast forward to the present. Starting in March my wife started to go and work out, saying she was sick of being fat housewife, so I was very encouraging of her to do so. This led to her making friends as well with the other women that were there. During this time, we were not sleeping together as she was having irregularities from her going on birth control as we decided against having more children. I saw the tampons, so this was not a lie. Meanwhile, she continued to lose weight and go out with the girls. She became more and more detracted from me. I understood she was asserting herself and that up until now her family was the center of her world. This took a complete 180 and now it was like the family world was on the back burner. I had a gut feeling that something was going on, however I didn't want to jump to conclusions. Instead, I waited and watched until finally I checked the phone records and found a number that was texted and dialed a great amount over the past 2 months. Once I had this, I called the number and of course it was another man. Armed with this information I confronted her and she denied for a few minutes, saying it was more of a text-phone relationship. But I know her well enough that I dug more and found out that they had slept together 2 times at the beginning of this month. Of course, I went through all the typical guy questions: how many times was it good and why? The response that I got was that she was miserable and that he was telling her how pretty she was and made her laugh, and referring to when we first met about the spark. Prior to me finding this out, she wanted to separate so that she could deal with her feelings, which I agreed to, without telling me the real reason. Now that I have found out the real reason, she still wants a separation. However, I am mixed feelings about this. Why would she not want to go to marriage counseling first to try and fix this, as we had what I believed was a very strong marriage? If she really loved me, why would she not want to go to counseling with me? I am now out of the house and paying for all the bills as she does not have a job, etc. It is a delicate situation as we have 3 children all under the age of 8. She has said how horrible she feels and that she wants to try and repair the relationship, but yet won't tell this other man to buzz off and doesn't want to go to counseling right now. I don't want to threaten her as it would make her unstable for my children. However, I do not want to stand by and be there for support, family while she is doing another man. I am now a wreck. I think I have slept a total of 5 hours the past 3 days and have not eaten anything. I am going to schedule myself for counseling this week to help get myself healthy. I am willing to work on it, but it feels as though she is unsure. Really don't know what to do or to expect, as this is nothing I have ever experienced before. This is a life-changing decision that I need to make, but it feels as though I am waiting for her to make up her mind about this other man. I am not very old, in my late 20s, so I feel if we can work through this that our marriage would be 70 times stronger. It just hurts very deeply that she is the one that cheated on me, yet I am the one on the outside looking and waiting on her feelings. I am conflicted to the point to throw her out of the house and let her go live with this OM, or do I just sit back and let it run its course? I have no issue with taking care of the kids' house as I did it for the most part anyways. Any advice or comments or steps on how to recover from this would be greatly appreciated. I want to move forward with or without her and still be an integral part of my children's future while remaining in a healthy mental state. I don't want to just scare her and coming back to me. If she wants to be with another man, just tell me and I will move on. Comment: tough love, man. Talked to a lawyer yesterday. You don't move. Expose her to relevant people which can pressure her, including her family. Demand total NC with other man or you file for D. Don't be needy. She already knows you wants this to work out. Don't begs her anymore. Don't be her second plan. Self-respect, man. Start a hard 180 just now. OP responds: she has already talked about leaving for the night, but said it is her house as well, so she isn't going to leave. It gets better as the other man doesn't look like he has a wife, but does live at home with his parents. I doubt they will appreciate her sleeping there. Now the other question I have is, do I reach out to the OM and say anything? So, as you can imagine, it has been tough for me, torn between my emotions. I have tried the 180, but she continues to text, call. She often texts or says it has something to do about the kids and then switches to how I feel, and starts asking questions like what if we stay together or what if we get divorced. I ended up in her email yesterday and found some interesting pictures of her and other man inside my house. Nothing physical, just hanging out photos. I also found out that she must be spinning some type of lie to the other man's parents, as he wanted to actually reach out to me and he referred to me as the ex already. Here is the issue. I call this man and tell him the real deal. She hates me forever and embarrasses the entire family within the community. Today she asked if I missed her, or she freaks out if I don't call or text back. I have the assumption that she is now using email correspondence to talk to other man, but I do not know if she cut off all contact. There are so many lies and weird crap between what I found out that I do not know what to believe anymore. I can also tell from the phone records that she contacted a lawyer, but only because I had said that I did. I am trying to go to the gym and trying to eat, but it is very hard. I will be returning to the house on Friday and staying there indefinitely until the end of this thing. It is going to be a huge struggle for me, however I have to man up and do it. Note to people, always remember to delete your sent file. Okay, so I am back in my house and now she tells me that she is pregnant with his child 6 to 8 weeks or so. This completely threw me for a loop. I am going crazy. How could I ever reconcile with her now? In my view, she has two options and a pretty clear-cut decision. She keeps this child, I am going to fight for everything and full custody of my current children and move on with my life. She doesn't keep this child, do I take it as a sign of remorse and try to work it out? She has already told OM she is pregnant along with his family. Update: within not even 2 to 3 hours being at the house, she has wanted to do nothing but talk. I allowed her to go on a little bit about it but gave one-word short answers. I was cold nor mean, just pretty even keel. I have come to grips she cheated and that this is the situation that we are in. I have 3 children under the age of 8 within the house that I want to keep stable for them. She keeps approaching with all the what if this, what if that. The one that struck me was when she said, what if I was to get the abortion, would we be able to recover from that? I was kind of caught off guard with this one and didn't really answer it. I told her I was moving forward with my life with or without her. I have talked to several divorce lawyers now and they say I have an extremely good case and there is not much for me to worry about. Only thing is, these lawyers are extremely expensive and we do not have much money to begin with. Since the case does not look that complicated, I was thinking about filing myself, and then if it gets into a custody battle, which I don't foresee happening, getting limited representation then. Outside of this, is there any other advice you guys have? I will not say R is out of the picture as much as it should be, but as far as I am concerned now, I will be moving forward with a divorce. Man, I am doing all the paperwork and going through the calculations, and it looks like I am going to get screwed twice in this situation. I live in a crap state for this type of thing to happen apparently. OM purchased her a cell phone apparently, and I have the rest of the money in a separate account already. What makes matters even more odd is that the OM looks like my twin. It seems as though she tried to escape and got trapped in an even more screwed up situation. I would love to hear what a counselor would say about this mess. We will see, as they say, only time will tell what happens. I have protected myself and my family, now it is time to focus on healing. Major update: wife and OM along with his 2 friends decided to show up at my house while I had the kids. I don't know why, as I asked my wife to bring back my car so that I could take the kids out. I blew up the entire fantasy world that they were living. So much to the point that OM brother called me as he was worried about the relationship his brother is getting into. Long story short, OM tried to force his way into my house and was yelling in front of my kids. Anyways, like the calm, cool, collective person I have now become, I didn't react. Instead, I called the police and filed a report. This morning I went to the courthouse and got an order of protection against both my wife and the OM for me and the kids. The judge was actually extremely helpful and actually gave me everything I was looking to achieve. While there, another single father was there and I was able to get in contact with a great lawyer. On another front, I told my entire family and now I have even more support and I feel a ton better than keeping it from some of them. Also, I don't have to tell her where I am or what I am doing with the kids, as I am protecting them from her crazy self, and boy, I have gotten over 100 missed calls and 40 plus texts today and she hasn't even been served yet. Crap is going to hit the fan on her when she realizes she can't see of be in contact with the kids for at least the next 5 to 10 days if she can test. Also, the fact that I have that protection order on OM against my kids and myself means that he can't be around them. This is the main one I wanted to accomplish, as I don't know how long the one on her will last. Also forgot to add that in these calls she was threatening to call the police and that she was at the police station. Little did she know, while she was sending these texts, I was already there and then at the court getting the restraining orders. After thinking about the big picture, I see that my life and my children's life will be better without her so intimately involved. She had a lot of issues when we first met and I always pleaded she go to counseling to help herself, however she never went. In a way, I should be glad this happened now and not later. I am still young, my children are young, and we can recover from this. I can't say the same about her and the baggage that she will be carrying into that family. I also rethought the whole abort process, and that's not my decision, that's hers. But it is probably going to be tough for her to have a reminder for the rest of her life, and I don't see her living conditions improving over what I was able to provide, so I don't see how this benefits her. She still gets half our debt incurred from the marriage, and hopefully she will be paying me support. It's actually a relief as not I get rid of a downer in my life as well as half my debt. After being able to see clearly this might be one of the greatest events to happen in my life. It didn't hurt that since I have not been wearing my wedding that I have been receiving some extra attention wherever I am. I have found a place for the kids and I to stay that is closer to my work, closer to the grandparents and great-grandparents. It is also about 40 minutes away from the hellhole situation that we were in. I will actually be saving a bunch of money making this move as well while providing a better quality of life for the kids, myself. Update: wife, another man was served. I have not received any correspondence from her since then. The row prohibits texts, phone calls, emails, everything from either of them to me or my children. It also protects the house so neither can go in there. Wife has been texting, calling a person in common nonstop to try and resolve it. She is begging, but I am not taking those crocodile tears and false statements. She is mentally ill and she needs in-house treatment. She has lied to everyone, friends, family, everyone. She has zero money now, so she is freaking out, calling all our mutual friends asking for money, giving them some bullcrap petty story that none of them are believing. She went to the courthouse to contest the row. However, I have retained legal counsel and it is very unlikely that it will get overturned. I think she has finally hit rock bottom, and now she can sleep in the bed she made. I obviously still want her to get help for herself so that I do not have to tell my children why they can't see their mom, etc. I'm a heartless son of a bee right now, but I am a firm believer that children need both their parents, whether together or apart. But they need to be mentally stable and not around psychos. Update: wife decided to text and call me repeatedly saying she wanted help to work on the marriage, which I didn't respond. She said she would go to in-house counseling. I decided to call her bluff and sent my mother down there to pick her up at the coffee shop. My mother is not a woman to mess with, but she is also a fair person. She walked into the shop and asked if she was ready to go. The whole other family got involved in the discussion, so my mother decided to let them have it. She dropped the biggest bomb on them, showed them all the texts. Needless to say, my soon-to-be ex did not leave with my mother, seeing as though she wanted to be even more terrible than she already is. I went to the police and showed them the proof of her breaking the PO. Anyways, I cleaned out the house and found bank folders of where the wife had her own accounts. I decided to call and see the balances and found out she rented a room at a local hotel last night. I believe the OM family finally got the whole truth and did not like it. Now I have to trace how much money she has been storing and for how long. I am in full attack mode, no more feeling bad or what ifs, time to take the B down. Update: soon-to-be ex-wife can't contact me, so she is having other people contact me to try and relay messages. My standard response: tell her to go help herself. Found out that OM is on a damn joint bank account with her at my mailing address. Can't wait to claim that every cent out of this account was spent on marital waste, and then they owe me a nice chunk of change that can't be paid in laundry and coffee beans. It just gets better and better. I'm from Muslim country and traveled to different ones also. In that case, don't even worry. If your wife and the OM try to take your kids to these countries, there are laws that kids always should be with father and mother in the same city, mostly father. Therefore, if just happened they take them there, you have any easier case than a case in the USA, and it will take only few hours for the police to bring them back to you. And since they committed cheating, if they flew to Saudi or Sudan, you have a very good case to put them both to stoning. Believe if I say you have an easy case if they move to Muslim country, because the rules are fair for both father and mother, even if the father was non-Muslim or from different country. Update: was moving stuff out of house and soon-to-be ex-wife showed up wanting to talk. I gave her the opportunity and then told her I am moving on. She didn't know what to do or say. It was priceless. Honestly, the two little ones are under the age of 4, so they really don't know what is going on. The eldest one has an idea of what is going. However, she is comfortable with the change. This speaks to the amount of parenting that she did, or better yet, did not do. If I see problems arise, I will get her in, but as of right now, she seems to be okay. Time to go furniture shopping today. I did go to look at new furniture for the new place. IKEA is insane. An update, as it has been almost a year. Ex-wife is no longer with the original man, did a couple stints in the loony bin, now lives off some friends and refuses to get a job, trying to collect disability. She still asks every day about us, but I am in a good place and do not need a woman to make me feel complete. She has seen the kids a handful of times since last year. I am now dating once again and doing the single dad thing. Life is good and I really can't complain. My advice for anyone going through any type of situation is to hang in there as things get better. Don't be afraid to cut ties and move on. My comment: glad you are doing better and keep loving those kids of yours. I hope your ex grows up someday and takes responsibility of her own life. Story 2. The induction. I feel like I kind of need to move on to get her back. I think I have about 3 to 4 months with her living with me, as we have not filed yet and does not have the resources to move out. This is my post from last Thursday when I found out this is what she wanted. So, just got back from counseling. She said she wants her, and the counselor started talking about de-counseling to help us kids, or some other nonsense. I kept saying, I am not here to talk about D, I came here to talk about saving our M. Finally, I got up and left. Both her and the counselor kept asking me to stay, but I was not going to sit there and figure out ways to make her feel less guilty about not trying. Any suggestions at this point? I am thinking going dark, as I have seen on here before. We have kids, but I feel a little vengeful and do not want to make this easy on her. She takes classes Wednesday and Thursday afternoon for 3 hours, but that is it. So, she doesn't work and can deal with the kids for a couple weeks. At this particular moment in time, I could not even face them. Daughter 5, son 2. The beginning of this story is in the men's club. Here is my post from this morning. Okay, I have been offline for several days. Here is what happened. She said she wanted divorce. Too late, nothing I can do now. I stayed at my mom's house from Thursday to yesterday. Did talk to her for a long time Friday, went over and switched cars with her, which she did not like. She says she doesn't really want anything, split custody with the kids. I keep the house. We will have to decide on a buyout. I have talked with lawyer, planning formal consulting next week sometime to find out timelines. He did say don't go in blazing if she is not being combative. I went home yesterday, told her I am staying. She said she talked to her friend and was told not to leave or it could be seen as abandonment and used against her in court. I told her I'm okay with her staying. We have 2 kids and can take of them together and be cordial. She has no money, little family support so far. They like me a lot and are disappointed she didn't want to try and is asking me about legal stuff, and even to the point of can we use the same lawyer, and should I get a lawyer. I did some favors for her, stopped and got her coffee when I was coming home yesterday, faxing a financial aid form today from work for her. We will be living together till we are divorced. She doesn't know where she is going, has no money right now. Even though she has no income, did make the comment that our money is 50-50, though she knows there is little of it. I'm all very confused. If possible, I would like to use these next 3 months to improve myself, and very, very long shot. I know, maybe she sees it and changes her mind. I did tell her that if she ever has that feeling to talk to me, but that at some point I will be over it too. I need to move forward. I need strength. I need to detach without making her think I am trying to screw her over. I actually did say to her that it might seem sometimes like I am being mean, but I am not going out of my way to hurt her. Sorry for the long message. I am a mess and this is a mess. Please keep in mind that I will be living with her for at least the next 3 months, and at this point she has no lawyer and is agreeable to the main things: house, kids. I am starting the map. 1. Bench press 170 pounds by mid-Jan. I weigh a little under 130. 2. Get debt-free. Probably won't happen till after the divorce. 3. 6-pack abs, or at least a 4-pack. 4. Church by myself at least 2 times a month. 5. Get a new pet for the kids and me cause I love them too. 6. Find something social, possibly writing club, degree in English Lit and journalism. 7. Improve focus in production and work. Sorry so long, but I appreciate any insight, advice, and especially encouragement. I weigh a little under 150 by the way. Small frame, but not that small. It is discouraging and hard to live her, though I do still want her around. She seems to feel the same way, though it is stuck in her head that it is over. It has been a midlife crisis type thing going on with her a few months, and the counselor forced her to be brutally honest. We were not happy, sure, but she had to admit to herself that we didn't have a spark. This morning I cuddled in bed with her before I got up and went to work. I talked to her on the phone just now and she cried and said she said it felt so good when I held her and she didn't want to let go. I said, you don't have to do this. I know, wrong thing to say. She said, it's already done. I do work and have been supporting the family, us and 2 kids, for the last 15 months. She has 15 years exp in her field but is now going back to school for her master's and realizes she really doesn't have access to any money at this time and cannot force me to do anything I don't want as far as buying stuff, etc. Plus knows there is not much money left. Also, we have talked very extensively. She knows that at this point I would do anything to try and make it better. She is not happy. She cried all weekend when I was gone. We talked for hours yesterday. This morning on the phone she said, it felt so good to have you hold me, but it was so real then. I didn't want you to let go. I said, you don't have to do this. She said, it's already done. I don't know what this means. I have been led to believe that if I do the map, if she is still around for now, we have no idea when we will file, though it will likely be me filing to protect financial interest. I have a chance of getting her to change her mind. I know I need to detach and detach quickly. She is feeling bad but also has me there with her to comfort her, which is hard not to do because I love her. I am not trying to force her financially to stay married. I am just saying for financial reasons she cannot move out yet and we have not filed. I am looking for some encouragement here and some advice about how I should go forward. And yes, due to financial circumstances she will be around to see how I am. And yes, I would like very much for us to somehow save this, though I am not really hopeful of all that. We have talked about her getting a job. My point is that she literally cannot leave our house right now because there is nowhere to go. Plus, she does not want to abandon our kids. She still has emotions for me, the line between disconnecting and focusing on me without being a jerk and pushing her further away. I did tell her things would be different because they have to be, and that I am not going out of my way to hurt her, but rather doing what I have to do for me. I am the nice guy, the pleaser. I went well out of my way to try to make her happy. She even said the day after she told me she wanted a divorce that she definitely never deserved me. Asking her on a date and telling her how beautiful she is would be seen as a clear ploy to try to trick her into coming back. Something in her mind that is far-fetched right now. I feel I need to stop being her best friend, doing things for her, and I believe that even making her jealous may help. I just need the strength to distance her because it is painful seeing her sad, even though she knows it is her choice. She would have moved out. She also could have gone to stay at her dad's or brother's, and she knows I have talked to attorney and she cannot take the kids with her. I don't know where you are getting your responses, but she currently cannot move out and may not until the divorce is final because she has nowhere to go, no money, and no way to support herself. In the meantime, she is in our house. We watched movies with our kids last night and went to bed together in the same bed. And before I went to work this morning, I cuddled with her. She has every choice to not do these things, and we have talked about that. She and I are both trying to detach. While she may want a divorce, I find that she still cannot help interacting emotionally with her best friend, despite the fact that she has plenty of friends to talk with. Does that change her wanting a divorce? No, but it does paint a different picture than I think you are seeing. If she was handed $50,000 in cash in the next 24 hours, she would be moved out. Both she knows it and I know it. Yesterday was the first day I was at home since she told me at MC that she wants a counselor. When she said I definitely didn't deserve you, she may have been keeping the peace, but it is also what her mom, dad, brother, and aunt have told her in the last 5 days. Again, I get it that she wants to leave. She told me that. My question is, how do I get her to change her mind before she can leave? 2 years later, I am 46, divorced 4 years, 10-year-old daughter and 6-year-old son. I have split custody. Dated my GF for since last April, about 10 months now. She has 3 daughters, 2, 6, and 8. She has full custody, and they have not seen their father but a few times in the last 3 months or so, as he has no job and drinking issues, so he can only have them supervised, meaning when his mom is in town and can be there too. She was only divorced a few months before we met. Went 3 to 4 months before kids met her, and at first both were excited to spend time with her and have her over. With 5 kids, there are often little fights, squabbles. At first, her oldest daughter, being heavily influenced by her dad, last fall they were seeing him more regularly, showed a lot of anger and didn't want me around, etc. After she got to know me, she told her mom I am actually pretty nice. Anyway, my oldest daughter admittedly can be difficult. She started acting differently when GF and I spent about 5-day vacation in Florida. Daughter started showing jealousy and often says I love GF more than her. She is a total daddy's girl. She also made it harder when all the kids were together by throwing tantrums if she didn't get her way, even calling people, usually me, names that are not appropriate. Admittedly, I am embarrassed by this and have been working really hard to get her to be at the very least respectful. Also, of course, I try to reassure her that I do still love her as much as always. There have been a few pretty ugly scenes. GF is a really good person, very strong faith, and has brought a lot of good things to my life. She has tried to be patient as I work with D to make our get-togethers more fun and less tension with my daughter, who often is just mad much of the time. It is to the point now, though, that while I love the time that GF and I get alone, we feel connected and have the same interest, and talk for hours. The time with her and my kids, or all of us together now, stresses me out. Last night, my kids with their mom and GF kids with their grandmother. We talked about Ash Wednesday. GF wants to go to Mass with me, and when I said D may want to go even though she is with her mom that night, first GF said okay, yeah. Then a few minutes later she admitted she would rather go with just me because I will have my kids the weekend after and we will not get any alone time. I told her I am not sure if D will even want to go and didn't think too much of it, though it did bother me slightly that she didn't want my D to go. This morning, X texts me about kids and says that, by the way, D wants to go with you to church on Ash Wednesday. I emailed GF to let her know, and even through email I could tell she was mad. She wants to go with me alone. GF does try to be happy, loving and caring, but I can also see her anger at my D under the surface, that she is not always respectful. After a couple emails, GF ended one with, I want to see her as the beautiful girl, heart and mind, that she is. But sometimes it's so hard for me not to just see her as spoiled and controlling. I'm so sorry I feel that way. I've been praying for God to change my attitude, as I know it is not helpful. This is just the culmination of me feeling very much in the middle of 2 females, 1 child and 1 woman, who are in a way fighting over me. It will be easy to say, move on, red flag, run, and so on. I get that. However, do I let a 10-year-old acting poorly determine the direction of my life? Not sure what to do on this. I would be okay either way. My daughter gets a ton of attention from me. She always has. I am not picking one over the other. I am trying to find ways to make it work better for all of us. More and more, on here and in other places, I am hearing divorcees, usually men, claiming they will never get married again. Sometimes because they feel like they can never trust or love in the same way, which is understandable, but also because marriage itself is a sham and a bad deal financially, again, usually men. I am here, as a divorced man with 2 kids who will be faced at some point with the opportunity to be married a second time, to ask outside of economics, what is the value of marriage? I will consider all answers, as this is obviously going to be subjective to beliefs and experiences.